I got the spinning wheel of doom as soon as I went to click into the session on my Mac. I'm like, no.
What's the spinning wheel of doom?
Oh, whew. A little bit of a rush.
All good. Can you hear me? Is it working?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Sweet. Wonderful.
Hi, Suzuki-san. Hi, Julie. Hi, Ollie.
Hello, all the people. Oh, lovely.
What are you drinking, mate?
2017 Limburg Whiskey Fest. Pirate whiskey. It's the Isla that's a 30 months finish in PX. It's nice.
Lovely. Lovely. I chose our single malt of Scotland Glenbergie.
Nice.
21-year-old.
21 years Glenbergie. Fruit bomb.
I will tell you.
Fruit bomb.
Just loving it at the moment.
Dig into some, got a nice little 8-year-old Glenvore sample I'm going to dig into a little bit later.
Yeah. Very cool.
On McPhail, 70s bottling. That's good. Should be good.
Very nice. Hey, Zelina. Where's your mate gone? He's gone missing.
I think he's trying to figure out how to get in here.
We just had him.
I know. It'd be crazy thinking because, we'd be more technologically savvy being Asian, but, not always true,
There's a lot of things I would trust Kelvin with, yeah, but I don't think tech would be my first go-to.
You trust him with kids, He's got lots of experience with kids, so it's okay. You can trust him with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Dude,
well, I think we should probably man. He's on his way, everybody. Thank you, Julie.
I think he went back into the booth and he was like, how do I do this?
Went onto the main stage and had a look at what was going on. Bit of a tour. But no, I'd like to wait for him because I'd love to hear how you guys got started.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we don't know Suzuki-san.
Kelvin's on his way. He's always late, even to work.
Is he always late?
Yeah, I normally open because he's got he drives a lot and he always waits for 30 minutes before you don't have to pay for parking on the street so he can park his car. So he always comes late.
Right to Fitzroy?
Yeah. Because he lives in Kensington, so.
Oh, okay. Yes. Oh, welcome,
yes,
sir.
So I can walk home.
Here he comes.
Hey, there we go.
What do you call this, mate?
There we go.
I don't know. It just didn't show up.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Chanel Liquori. I am one of the sales managers for Elixir Distillers, and one of my regions is Asia Pacific. And today, for anyone who knows me, I have been very, very excited to get to speak to these guys today. Kelvin, Lo, and Wong, they are dear friends of mine from Melbourne, from my time in Melbourne, and they own the wonderful Elysian Bar, which is basically an indie whiskey bar. Really? Do you have any OBs there?
Yes, not too many. Not too many, but we do.
Definitely not like
some of them you gotta have, Springbanks and all this. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Yeah, okay.
And the rest that doesn't have too many IBs. Yeah.
Well, may I just say it's quite the curated black back bar that is the Elysian. And I just had to have you guys as part of this. I'm just super excited to speak to you.
Thank you
especially because
Likewise.
My second interview with Elixir Distillers, the first interview I was in New Zealand, and then the second interview I was in Melbourne, and I happened to go to the Elysian for a bit of Dutch courage before the second interview. So you all got to see sort of the progression of me getting to be into this little room here. So I had to.
So happy you got it.
Thank you. But first and foremost, I guess, can you guys give a bit of shed a little bit of light on how you got started or how the concept of Elysian started?
Yeah, well, there are quite a few whiskey bars in Melbourne, but we wanted to start a bar that focuses a lot on IB, like you said. So really champion the IB. Independent bottlings have entered Australia quite a number of years ago, But most people who see like in Adelphi bottling, which we have a lot here, or signatory bottling, they look at it and they just call it by the distillery name. It never really clicked to them that it's an IB. This is a single cask bottling done or chosen by a certain person, you know. But, you know, at a bar, you know, we will go through all the details saying this is an elixir bottle. They've chosen this cask. This is Cannon Hits whatsoever. So we really wanted to push this category and make it a focus, yeah. So I would say, 80% of what we have is IB?
Absolutely.
80 to 90%, yeah.
As much as we can, you know. And, you know, like I say, we do have OBs, but, you know, sometimes it's good to have, like, some iconic things like, you know, Lafroy 10, like a Bullion 16, like really iconic starting anchor points, I guess. Anchor points would be a good one. And then that gets a lot of conversation glowing and going to kind of prod people into the world of IB.
Those are also really essential OBs, I think, you know. People need to know those OBs if they're on their whiskey journey.
Well, if from what I can gather from the life I've spent with IBs, it's almost our jumping off point too, are those sort of core ranges, the Springbanks, the Lafroigs, as you say, like into knowing, you know, when we talk about single malts of Scotland, we talk about the distillate, and the only way to know is well, by drinking a lot, but understanding the time and the history and what the distillery is doing with the OBs. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for those who have been to the bar or want to visit the bar, I've seen pictures of the bar. You know, we modeled it after basically bars that we like to drink at. And obviously we do a lot of trips to Japan and we're always drinking there. So we took a very traditional look. So people that look at it will be kind of like, or have been to Japan before, will walk into the bar and be like, oh, this feels familiar. I've definitely sat at a bar like this before. And we think it's a really great environment for being able to sit down and drink a whiskey without having too busy of a bar. Essentially, you know, it's not maybe not so good on the business side because, you know, in on a business point of view, you want it to be, you know, volume and turnover is usually a better thing for the bank account. But in terms of appreciating, but in terms of you know, appreciating a whiskey, sitting around having a good time, we thought it was a better environment to model it after, you know, those kind of bars that we like to drink at.
Absolutely.
You've been to the bar as well, you know. We try to sit most people up at the bar itself, you know, so that way we get to interact with them and really introduce the whiskeys to them personally. Yeah.
And you've always got.
And even if you came on a Friday night, you know, we've got some tables on the bottom, but I'll be down there on the floor and talking to these groups. Yeah, so it's all 100% table service, and that's the best way to introduce, really.
What is the seater number? Like, how many covers how many people can you?
Realistically, 25, 28, you know, that's really pushing it.
That's really
we are licensed for 40.
Yeah.
That's you mean some new friends next to you, like squeeze.
All bumper seats. 24 is very cozy. Very, very cozy.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Comfortable is about 16.
So
social distance.
Oh yeah, well,
with social distancing, we can pick 12.
Yeah.
As you can
12,
tell, they're not in the bar. Well, you know that. You're not in your bar. Yeah, mate. Okay, so in terms of that small bar, like what was the plan there? Like, how are you going to? I mean, especially when you look at how hard it is to get some of those IBs into Australia, like what was the plan into making this a success? Like, you've really carved out a cool little corner of Melbourne for yourselves.
Yes. So with that, because we went down the path of IB, and most people know with a lot of IB, also a lot of people like to go down the single cask route, so limited availability. So it's very rare that we restock a lot of the bottles. So on every week, on average, we open about 10 new bottles every week, and that keeps things really interesting for our regulars, and that's the real draw point. And then for someone for a customer that's not very experienced in IB or these kind of whiskeys, it doesn't really matter so much because it's going to be new to them anyway. So that way you can get both markets.
Yeah, but like you said, it is quite hard to get stuff from down here. But that's part of the fun. The rarer it is, the more people want to come, man. That's the draw card.
I mean, I know some of, like allocation for Australia is tight. It's
Are we
very.
even allocated anything? I don't see anything.
Oh, it's getting hot in here.
We need to have a chat with Alba.
JJ is just asking a question. If Andy and I were to walk into your bar knowing a little bit about whiskey, what would you recommend? An Australian whiskey, question mark?
If it has to be an Australian whiskey, well, like Yao said, it would be a Scotch, most probably. But if it's Aussie, probably try a Stout first if it's at Alba.
If you've
We
never
are
tried,
based in Melbourne.
if you never tried Aussie whiskey before, yeah, for sure, definitely go with as local of a distillery as we can supply you, and then we'll move on.
Stout is doing amazing things. The right price point for Australian whiskey as well, very accessible.
Very, very much so. I mean, it's great to see them here. I mean, when I was in the States, obviously David Vitale is in California now, I think.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
They're really pushing it in the States, and it's
it.
gangbusters, which is really cool to see as well.
And he's got a very good representation at Suzuki-san's bar as well in the mash tun.
Oh, yes.
I know Martin is sending some bottles. We've sent him some bottles.
Yeah. How many whiskeys do you have on the back bar at this stage?
We cap it at about 250.
300-ish. Yeah, 350. That's about all we have space for.
250, 300, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we cap it at that. So, like you say, it also by limiting the number, we also make sure we turn over the bottles very quickly. Mm-hmm. It's very rare that something sits on our shelf for a very long time. So, within the space of a year, we could turn over a little bit over 2/3 of the back bar.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Because I mean,
depending on what it is, some bottles disappear in a week. It could disappear in a week. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't leave the bar. Like, there's those bottles that you guys just have out on the bar, and then 9 times out of 10 when you sit it there, you're like, "What's that one? That one, please."
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And you just watch it just go, like these bottles just.
Sometimes very.
I think the fastest we had was a Glenallachie 25. It was an official bottling actually. And this one, what was it, Yao? Like 2 days?
3 or 4 days? 3 or 4 days, maybe.
3 or 4 days. We opened a Glenallachie 25 years old. It was that amazing. We were selling it to everybody that came through the bar. And 3 or 4 days, we killed that bottle.
It wasn't cheap, but it just went because it was good. It was really good.
It was delicious. Glenallachie 25.
And it was an OB, so it's part of Billy Walker's. So I mean, part of it is your amazing education that you give to regulars and things, and knowing about everything that comes through your doors. I mean, how do you?
It is very hands-on. Yeah, very hands-on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. How do you stay on top of all of that?
By doing lots of this.
Bottles.
Practice, maybe. I mean, so when we opened the bar, in 2016, and we stocked the back bar, I think we hadn't tasted about 90% of the bottles, right? We got them and stocked them and not tasted it. So I think it took us like maybe
a few weeks,
maybe up to 3 months to finally open up all the bottles and tried and managed to try them up. So every time we open the bottle, that's when we get to do the taste, right? So at the early stages of the bar, when we were opening the bottles, then we had this experience where we were tasting it for the first time along with the customer, which was actually quite nice.
Yeah, that's really.
It was a learning curve, steep.
And Winnie's asked a really good question there. Like, is there anything that you bring in that you're like, we'll just keep this for a little bit longer?
100%, yeah.
Oh, yes.
It really depends on the condition of the bottle, yeah.
Yeah.
Some bottles, seriously, it took us 2 or 3 years for it to be at the back bar. Like, we had to keep it there because it was not right yet. It was not at the optimum drinking.
Yeah, so
condition,
we actually, if we have a few bottles of that same cask or whatever, then we open one. Either it's really good and maybe we want to hold back for a future tasting, or 2, we open it and then we taste it like it's not quite right yet. So, for example, I think we actually had one of Suzuki-san's bottlings from an old particular. I think it was a Linkwood. It was a sherry Linkwood, and it wasn't right to drink. We had to open it and then keep it for nearly 6 months.
Yeah,
and then it was like optimum, beautiful drinking condition. And after that, it took like 2 weeks, and the bottle was gone. Yeah.
That like Suzuki-san and Sukhinder were speaking about yesterday of a way to sort of get the bottles right, get the whiskey right.
Yes, that's right.
For sure. And I know a lot of the bartenders or bar owners in Japan as well. It's their bar, they're the owners. They constantly taste their bottles as well. And then they would tell me, like Suzuki-san tells me, this bottle right now, this is the time to drink it. Yeah. Whereas when he first opened it, it was just not quite there yet. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And it's for us now that
for sure there are some optimum drinking conditions.
Now that we're doing bottlings for the bar for ourselves with our private cask, we also know when we taste them, we're like, okay, this one's either we need to when one bottle's running a bit lower, so we think, okay, this might be a 3-week lead out. We better crack the new bottle now. So it'll be ready for drinking about a month ahead of time.
And then there are some bottles where it's that fantastic. I want to bring it back home as well.
We all do that.
Struggle, right?
And that's where today is in front of all of those ones you've just sort of taken home.
That's it. Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah, so that's like a bottle here.
What's that?
It was open for the bar once, but then we had a chat about it. It's one of Suzuki-san's Ichiro's malt and grain for his anniversary. I did take off the seal. We were about to open it at the bar, but then we decided to just hold it back for a bit. So we might reopen this later. I'll bring it back to the bar.
This will be open for a future tasting, so we'll do like a retrospective tasting with those,
Well, there you have it.
They will all be open.
But this one here has Hanyu and Kawasaki as well, so it's a pretty special bottle.
Oh.
It's got Hanyu and Kawasaki. It's for the Mash Tun's 13th anniversary.
So it's but the most important thing is people understand that we will open all the bottles. That none of them will be split. We will be opening all those bottles to be drunk. So that's the most important thing. I think it's just in the end it's just whiskey. You can't take it with you when you're gone. We got to drink it.
I know. I still struggle with that one though. There's some that
100%.
There's some in my collection that I drink, or I drink slowly, but it's just so
100%.
wonderful. And then I know that I'm going to hold like a little Viking ritual once it's finished.
The worst thing is when you've got just 2 drams at the bottom and you leave it there for a long time.
Yeah.
The next time you taste it, it's gone. It's like, oh shit!
I've done that too, and you're like, well, that was a bloody waste. Like,
yeah, that's it.
I mean, one of the things I found really interesting is, so since taking on this job, taking on Asia Pacific, your guy's name just keeps popping up everywhere, man. Like I'm talking to the guys in Hong Kong, and they're like, Hill.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And Michael's in Taiwan, and I'm like, oh, there's the boys again. I'm like, what's going on?
Well, with Hill was really interesting because her company started only about 6 months before we did.
Yeah.
And I met her in Tokyo actually at the Mash Tun for the first time, about a few months just after she opened, and it was with Mark Watt, and we were getting very drunk, and then that's how we got to got to know each other and kept a good relationship going. Yeah, it was really, really great, and she's so wonderful. What she's done with her business in Hong Kong, like amazing, wonderful, such an inspiration.
And I've seen that whiskey collection of hers too. She has her meeting.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, hello. Hi, Andrew. How's it going, babe?
The whiskey hobo's here.
Where's he coming from? Where is he? Where are you now?
It's in Indonesia.
Jakarta, I think. Jakarta, I believe.
Yeah. Oh man, the Melbourne gang's here. This is great.
And Andrew had just opened up a bar actually. Unfortunately, Indonesia's just gone back into lockdown, but Andrew just opened a bar as well. It looks really wonderful. So
very cool. Nice to see you here.
Oh man!
What are you drinking, Kelvin?
I'm drinking this Glenlottie. There you can see it. There's a bit of glare. Yeah, Glenlottie 24. Quite a special Glenlottie. Very waxy.
Very waxy.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
All right, we've got a question from Martin Eber. So many bottles. Did you ever find the need to preserve the bottles? We'd get too low with a 50% off. Oh, right. No, they don't stick around that long. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Because
We haven't
like
had
I
that
don't know if you
problem yet.
heard the first part. We only got about 300 bottles at the bar, so we do go through them quite quick.
Yeah.
So we've never had the need to argue on them yet. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't had that trouble yet. So yeah. The other thing as well is when we open bottles at the bar, we generally don't go above a certain price threshold. Just that, we want it to be at a reasonably accessible level for
Yeah.
consumers. Because sometimes, obviously some whiskeys are really, really good, but they're also prohibitively expensive, especially for our clientele that we have. We're in Fitzroy. Our local clientele, a lot of them, will be in for a cocktail or just casual drinks. We can't be, opening the heaps of Roar and Port Ellen
Being in
that will end
Fitzroy
up
is
being
one, but number
few
two,
$100 a glass,
Australia, we're not quite there yet as well.
Yeah, we're not
I'm
there
sure you
yet.
know our market over here. We're also up against a lot of local producers. So
Yeah.
a lot of them would rather support local as well. They would rather spend, for example, 120 on a shot of Aussie whiskey than taste a really spectacular Scotch from an IB or whatever. So there's a bit of that too. So.
Zelina asked you a question too, like what other criteria do you have for choosing your whiskeys besides the price? Like cask is
yes, definitely. Cask and vintage is very important, I think, depending on the distillery. Yeah, we definitely do put a lot of emphasis on that, for example, if you see a good vintage 96 Ben Nevis, for example, we were like, doesn't matter if it's a bourbon or sherry cask, we'll try, or even might be a little bit more expensive, let's take it. A 97 Kleinlich cask, let's get it, because we know it's probably going to be amazing. And even if it's going to be like $60 a shot, they were like, yeah, we could sell it, no problem, because it's that good.
Yeah.
More than that, we also want to taste it. So a lot of things
exactly.
we want to try.
A lot of it is dictated by how much we want to taste. Yeah, we want to taste.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, we all know what we'd shell out for. Absolutely. A 96 Ben Nevis or a 97 Kleinlich. Yeah, we'll all be there. Absolutely.
No doubt. Yeah.
In mind.
Have you ever encountered an interesting or unforgettable dram which are quite out of your expectations? Oh yes, too many.
What's a
many.
standout though? What's a standout for you?
Whiskeys that I wish I could stock, but definitely cannot. 60s Bowmore, obviously, and 66 to 69 Springbank, obviously, amazing drams, but you can't stock it at our bar, unfortunately. Our clientele.
Those are legendary drams, everyone
legendary
loves
drams, them. But we there was a little time when we were opening a bunch of the series of 73 space sides that were coming out from the secret space sides. Obviously, Whiskey Exchange did one, a few other people around the world. There were quite a few of those casks going around, so we were consistently opening quite a few of those, and one after another. And we wish that we could stock heaps of those, but you got to be reasonable. Even though they sell very quickly, like we gotta be reasonable too,
To answer that question, I would say my biggest encounter, or something that surprised me the most, was something of that 73 space side style. The first time I tried that flavor was actually with a Club Ching bottle.
Club Ching, yeah.
It was their 1975 Lady and the Cat label, and it blew my mind. Yeah,
fantastic,
absolutely fantastic whiskey.
I love
very memorable
with you guys.
And then actually, the first time I tried like a 91 or 1990 long age Irish, wow, that blew my mind. Like that incredible tropical fruit character, just killed me. Like it's golden circle breakfast juice, right?
Yeah, I know that pineapple cidery, just like delicious.
Obviously, the prices these days have steadily increased. So, compared to what we used to get them before, so
those Irish single have gone
a little bit more difficult these days.
So here's the question: then, have you seen Australian, Aussie, taste change since you've opened the bar?
Somewhat, yes.
Aussie palate.
Yeah, palate, or maybe your regulars are becoming more adventurous in what they're choosing because they trust.
Yes, a lot of our customers that come to the bar, they're adventurous is the right word, Many of our regulars actually never realized we have a menu. We've always had a menu, but they always just leave it to us. They trust us, They trust our palate and our recommendations. Yeah.
Mm.
So they're happy to try. We know what they like. They trust us, so we recommend stuff that they will enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like, stuff
slowly
we're
that is
excited
growing.
about,
Yeah.
Stuff that we're excited about, like
Yeah.
the first time that we tasted up those old 73 Space Sides, then suddenly we give it to them, like, trust me, I know it's a little bit pricey, but you have to try it.
Yeah.
And then they try it and it just blows their mind. They're like, where have they been living this whole time? And then that just builds on their journey as well.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Zulina's asked, are you more open to the younger whiskeys now that the prices are going up on sort of the better vintages? Or...
Yes, absolutely.
We've always been open to younger whiskeys, nothing against young whiskeys. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think especially, we always talk about, peated whiskey, right? Everyone loves younger peated whiskey. That's the beautiful charm and the raw, beautiful, well-made spirit character. You don't want to hide too much of that in a dark cask. And also young, well-made, new make from newer distilleries. Like, for example, we talked about, we hosted Dan Woolley yesterday, and his new make was fantastic, like really, really good.
Well, you can effectively assume that if the new make is good, unless something drastic happens with the
Unless
wood.
he does something really wrong, yeah.
Yeah. You're going to hope that within a few years, he's in Gold Coast, so, right? So Byron. So
Byron.
It's not going to take him that long for the age to happen. Like, you can assume.
No, not long at all. Yeah.
It's pretty warm over there, he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones we tried were about 2+ years, and they were fantastic.
Yeah, like killer whiskeys.
They were kind of.
But I would trust Dan's palate. He wouldn't put something out on his name that wasn't good. Like, no way.
Lady, what's his wife's name? She does the actual distilling, doesn't she? Guys,
they both do.
It's not mainly him now. They're good.
It's mainly him
now
now.
at the moment. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, and then other new young distilleries, for example.
That's all right. He's not listening.
Okay, so other new young distilleries are good.
Speaking of new make.
Speaking of new distilleries.
Your
whiskey is so good. Amazing. Exactly. Having tasted some of the new Scottish distilleries as well. Dornock's new make when I got to try it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Really good. I got to try it at Chichibu this February when we were with the boys.
Yeah. We interviewed all the guys, actually. Julie, who you met earlier, interviewed all the guys from the independent whiskey bars of Scotland.
So cool. I think so.
Which
John
is
Beach was on earlier.
Which is how we got into the conversation of the Highlander Inn.
Right.
The gauntlet.
Oh yeah, I called.
I believe in you. I believe in you.
Good luck.
24 hours.
Yeah.
All three of them. Yeah, absolutely. But from what I understand, Dornock's stuff is looking really good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're very adventurous, playing with different types of yeast, open wet fermentations, no temperature control. So lots of fun stuff they're doing here.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep. Andy Chu can tell us more if he wants to later.
I think I really want to also talk about the sense of community that you guys have instilled from Elysian. That to me seems to be very important to the bar, right?
Yes.
I mentioned it to you before, Yao, like during COVID or the first initial parts where you were actually allowed out of the house during COVID, you were doing the hospitality dinners, just like making a whole lot of food and whoever needed it could come and take some.
Yes.
And look very tasty. But also just in terms of the bar, like it's a place for people to go and hang out. I know I've gone there and just you end up meeting a whole lot of people there all sipping just rare and awesome whiskey off the bar. And it seems to be something that you've definitely tried to perpetuate.
I think it was important for us to do
family.
that. Yeah, I mean, since we were in Fitzroy, we were no longer within the comfort of the CBD. In Fitzroy, we have to kind of fend for ourselves. It's a destination area, so we try to be very amicable and be friendly and try and support all the bars in our area. Like if you look on the back of our business card, there's like a little map. I don't have one here, but there's like a little map there that puts out like a, you know, our neighboring restaurants, our neighboring bars here, and we always keep the business cards on hand for all our closest bars, like the Black Pearl, the Everly, all those guys above board. We try and keep them, you know, within that almost 1 kilometer radius. Then we can, anyone that asks for recommendation, you know, we can always hand them the cards, like, you know, they're just up the road, 2 minutes. Let's do that. And then in turn, you know, it breeds really good community for the restaurants and the bars in our area. It just helps us all, because out there we're all very, very small. You know, not much, you know, 2-3 times the size of our bar, but that's not many.
On any given night, you know, I think 20-30% of the customers are recommended by some other bar or restaurant. You know, they finish dinner at, you know, Cutler & Co or something, and they're like, we were told to come here because, you know, finish dinner, have a nice whiskey.
You guys are making me homesick.
No. Oh, we miss you too.
No problem.
Yeah.
No problem. I'm fine.
And where we are, you know, we're part of a very nice little bar hop as well. You know, you can do Gertrude Street, Brunswick Street, Smith Street.
Smith Street. It's a good little triangle. Johnson.
Not too much on Johnston, but yeah, the
You
other
got Bar
three.
Liberty. You got Bar Liberty on Johnston.
Liberty.
You got Bar Liberty, like the
there.
best wine bar and one
Yeah.
amazing restaurant in the country.
Sorry, Kelvin.
One or two. Johnston's like a party town.
No, but it is. It's in a good little spot, and it just seems to be so important for a bar that's that small, you know. But even seeing your tastings that you do, like, and how you pack them out, you pack them out, with people who are just willing to try some new stuff. It's very cool.
That's
like,
the one thing COVID has been good for. You know, we've done online tastings, obviously, and we've done like double or triple the capacity, which is fantastic.
You can actually finish the whole bottle in one ticket sale.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh wow, this is different.
But you guys were doing the
And with the virtual tastings as well, we're getting a lot of like people joining us from Tasmania, Sydney, Adelaide, Queensland.
Yeah.
So they're joining
Nice
in
to
our
reach
virtual
them,
tasting.
yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool. All right, any more questions for the guys? We're here.
Maybe not so many.
I'm just looking through.
Can I ask you a question, Chanel?
Oh, yes.
So, what other elixir bottles can we get over here? Are you gonna start allocating us some good stuff?
Oh, okay. All right. No, we've just had a few conversations with Elba actually. So
Cool.
this space.
Awesome.
But yeah, we have just launched this. I'm just gonna do a little plug. Do you like this?
Yeah.
Please.
Port
Go
Escape
ahead.
12-year-old. So this is
Red words.
part cherry, part bourbon.
Oh, nice.
I don't know even where to start, but yeah, I gave Ian a big sort of allocation.
Hopefully, we'll see some single malts of Scotland too.
Yeah.
That'll be
On
fantastic.
that, guys. God damn. Yeah.
I mean, we're sourcing ours like single bottles through, and then we have been opening them on the bar. But yeah, it would be nice if we.
What would you like? I'll write it down.
We'll work it. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to do it? Andy Chu's asking a very good question. Actually, bar co-op bottle soon with the old elixir. I think Ollie's what.
Well, that could be nice. That would be nice.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
We'll discuss.
Definitely.
I think you've got a few Imperial casks lying around.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think Ollie's in the chat. Ollie, can I message you there?
I think you might find that's in the next sort of the allocations that may.
Oh, nice.
Excellent. Yeah.
Mr. McKinley. I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
See if you're at home, so this works. If you were at home and your house is on fire, what's the one bottle that you would? Kelvin, you can grab your kids with one arm.
I'll shove them out the door first, and I'll rescue my bottles.
No, you should douse your bottles in water.
You take
Douse the bottles in water. Oh.
One bottle.
one, mate.
Oh, shit. Difficult.
Whatever reason.
That's like, who's your favorite child? I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, this is so difficult. Oh my.
Oh,
Difficult call.
I might take my Yamazaki 1984.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so many. I don't know where to start.
Oh, yeah, that's difficult. I got a nice signatory.
Yamazaki 1984.
70.
Yamazaki 1984.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice, Kelvin. Very good.
I reckon I would take I'll take our first ever bar bottling.
Ooh, what was that?
It was a 19 years old.
Glen Rothes.
It was a 19-year-old dark sherry Glen Rothes. You take it out and show the color.
Oh,
This
that's
is one we did with some bars in Japan, Suzuki-san.
Yeah,
Some bars in Taiwan as well. So this is a Drunken Master bottling. Whiskey Agency cask.
Yes. Yeah, it's a pitch black.
Very
So that was the first ever bottling we did for the bar. So I think that was very sentimental memories there. I think that's pretty important.
Martin had a bottle. I'm not sure if he's drank it all.
Yeah, it sounds like it's fond memories, so that might be gone.
Yeah.
That might be gone.
So that was
People are
a few
still
years
asking
ago,
for
but-
this bottle. It's pretty crazy.
But I think that one is, for nostalgic quality, I think that's very, very sentimental. I think that was good.
Yeah.
So we did this in conjunction with 3 bars in Taiwan. Then we've got Mash Tun and Bar Caprice in Japan and us in Australia. Yeah.
So that was really fun.
And this was the start of it all. After this, we did lots of joint bottlings with all these guys here.
That's very cool. I have a thing for Glen Rothes. My general feel is I prefer the indies because I just think it needs to be a little bit on the higher proof side.
Yeah, for sure.
I concur. Yes.
Yeah. But that's I've grown to love Glen Rothes for sure. That sounds.
Although I think now they've gone back to their age statements. I think for Glen Rothes, I haven't tried the latest.
I haven't
range.
tried the end of the new range either. Yeah.
It's been a while. I'll be honest. It's been a while.
Glen Rothes has some nice stuff. I think Yao and myself we've tried. Was it 1973 or 19 something?
68, I think it was the
68 Glen Rothes. Yeah.
68 Glen Rothes.
That was pretty special. Official bottling. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
And
He says Martin long ago.
long ago.
All right, guys. Thank you. I will say I'm so friggin' proud of you. I don't know if, I am. I'm just amazed. And every time your name comes up in conversation over in Asia, I'm just like, so thank you so much for coming in. And
thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for having
it was
us.
really wonderful. And it was a really nice break from our craziness down here in Melbourne as well,
I know. But there's a sign of it opening back. Are you guys still on curfew?
We are no
that finished
longer
2
on
days ago.
curfew, but we are still in heavy restrictions. But fingers crossed on the 19th, they'll allow outside trading, like footpath trading, like what New York is doing.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know what they had to do, though? They had to get like decking guys into the into the parking bays on the street.
Oh, right.
So
Okay.
if you look at what like Sammy Ross did in Attaboy, he
Yes, that's right. Yes.
guy in.
Yeah.
Right.
Just to raise a extra.
It looks like
I mean, we have outdoor seating already anyway. It's just on the road, just on the curbside. We have like a little table outside.
People can stand around, it's fine.
On the pathway, people still like to sit outside and have a smoke while they have a dram.
Just
so
watch the
we could
cars,
use
it'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, we could fit like maybe 6 people out there. We'll see.
Yeah, very cool.
I think we can fit 8 people, which is not bad.
Just be cheeky. I mean, fit a few more people out there. So
like lined up.
But yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be nice to open up. We've been shut for 7 months now.
So yeah, we
7 months. Yeah.
getting rusty.
Oh, get to drinking,
Getting
guys. Okay.
Yeah, that too. Like sitting around too much is bad, man. Your brain rots from watching too much TV. I've already finished the first season of Netflix, so it's.
I clocked Netflix there for a while. I clocked it, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Cool.
But yeah, thank you so much. If there are no more questions, I guess we'll finish up the session. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us.
Good to see lots of friends.
It's like 1 in the morning.
It's
So
1
Yeah,
o'clock.
10 past
yeah.
1 in the morning. Yeah.
fun.
I'm
Thank
sorry. We're gonna be probably watching quite a few more sessions after this.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
like, we won't be asleep till like 4 or something anyway. So we'll be fine.
That's it.
There's some good things on.
Thanks for having us, Chanel.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Oh man, it's so good to see your face.
Good to see
Take care.
you. See ya.
Stay safe, guys. See ya.
Be safe.